Start recording this for posterity. Okay, so this is 12, 10, 14. Okay, so, knowing that endoparasites are on the inside and ectoparasites are on the outside, that's easy. Any third grader could memorize that, And you can tell me that a tick is an ectoparasite. Fantastic. What's more important in thinking about why parasites matter, why do we care about parasites? Other than the fact that you don't want to get them. Maybe you don't want to get them. Maybe you don't want to get them. So here's the deal. When I say parasites made you who you are, let's talk about life metaphors. Okay? How many of you have heard somebody say to you at some point in your life, maybe when you're going through something really difficult, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger? Maybe you've heard that. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And there's a very real degree to which it's true. Going through rough stuff changes who you are as a person. And it shows you what tools you have to get through rough stuff. And it makes you stronger. And if you have a life where nothing ever challenges you and nothing's ever hard and you never have emotional or physical or spiritual or financial or any other kind of challenges, then you're pretty weak, honestly. Because it actually literally is going through the hard stuff that makes you deeper, stronger, smarter. It does all that stuff for you. So as much as when you're in the depths of like the really crappy stuff, and trust me, every single human being, no matter how easy their life looks from the outside, has been through some level of really crappy stuff. Because that's life. It is. How you deal with it is who you are as a person. And that's true biologically too. So, if we take anything, any organism, a human, a squirrel, a raccoon, a bacteria, a blue whale, a dandelion, and we raise it in the absolute perfect environment, and it never ever has a challenge. The first time it gets even a very small challenge, guess what? It dies. Because those challenges make you stronger. So, how many of you as kids ate dog food? Or cat food? Or earthworms? Or dirt? Or we found a rock in my daughter's mouth a couple months ago. We're at the playground and she likes to pick up rocks. We're at that stage. Her pockets are always full of rocks. And, we thought she was beyond putting things in her mouth, but she likes to pretend, and we're, leaving the park, and we've got her in the stroller, and she had a bunch of rocks, and she's making up stories about the rocks, and we get to the other playground, and I asked her something, and she went, "Whoa, what do you have in your mouth?" "Biscuit." It was a rock. Like, that's not a biscuit, kid. So what was on that rock? Oh, probably like some smears of, whatever pee and whatever poop and whatever somebody tracked in off of something. And it's all in her mouth now. I mean, when she was 9 months old, I found her eating compost in the garden. That compost, I'm quite sure, had lots of poop in it. Oh, fantastic. It is. It absolutely is. So, statistically, how many of you have allergies to anything? How many of you are allergic to, ooh, that's a bad one. Cats, dogs, dander, dust, hay, mold, mildew, whatever. Okay, most of us have some level of allergies. Allergies are on the increase. Did you know that? More and more people have allergies every year. Now, statistically speaking, kids who grew up on farms have far fewer allergies than kids who grow up in like suburban environments or in non-farm environments.
But they're outside.
That's weird. So how do parasites make you who you are? Well, it's not only parasites, it's all kinds of challenges to your immune system. Parasites are a challenge to the immune system. Remember, we said parasites don't want to kill you, but they can. So if you as an organism are challenged by a parasite, you have two options. Your body finds a way to deal with it. You have some sort of accidental, like you're lucky enough that your stomach acid is strong enough that it kills the worm. Or I will tell you that I personally believe that I am evidence of parasites driving evolution. Remember how I said I'm a tick magnet? Ticks like me. I also have tremendously flaky skin. I do. I'm always flaking. Like, my head's flaky. I'm just flaky. I have flaky skin. I just do. What this means is that when I get a tick, ticks, unless they have burrowed really deep into me, are stinking easy to remove. Because I just pick off a flake and the tick pops right out. See? My body. I'm just lucky I have flaky skin. Okay, so I may look terrible in black shirts, but I can get ticks out really easily.
What does that have to do with a black shirt?
Because I have dandruff all the time. I'm constantly flaky. I know it. I just don't care. I can't care. So, did I decide before birth, you know what? I think I'm going to have really flaky skin. That sounds great. Did I pick that? It's genetics. My dad was flaky too. You know, I mean, it's just... And my daughter will probably be flaky. She's already kind of flaky. Okay, whatever. So we dress the kid in lighter colors. Fine. But that little happy genetic accident means that it's easy to pick ticks off me. Huh. That's nice. Did I set out to say, I bet that if I had flaky skin, it'd be easy to get ticks out? No, I didn't. I didn't really want flaky skin. Like I said, I look terrible in black shirts. Oh well. If you happen to have some little accidental advantage, you all know that some people have stronger and weaker stomach acid. There are people who have very weak stomach acid. And very often those people have some digestive issues. They have problems throughout their life with digestion. It's not acid reflux. That's a whole different thing. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's a whole different thing. That's a weak sphincter at the top of the stomach that allows stomach acid up into the esophagus. But some people have just stronger stomach acid. Well, if you have stronger stomach acid, guess what? Parasites that end up in your stomach have a much higher risk of death. If you've got weak stomach acid, you've basically opened a swimming pool for parasites. You know? Everything that has parasites that prey on it, every species that has parasites, over the history of that species, has evolved to deal with those parasites. So, if you have, stomach acid has probably progressively gotten stronger over the span of history with species who've had exposure to parasites. Now, what's interesting, and I mean your tears, the tears that come out of your eyes, are a response to not necessarily parasites, but bacteria, to other things that would otherwise harm your body. Mucus, snot, that's a response to parasites and infections. That picture, if we go back here, in the gut, in the intestine, there are pockets of mucus there. You know that your gut's full of mucus too? So you've got mucus. You produce mucus in lots of places. The one that we always think of when I say snot, what do you think of? Your nose, your sinuses. But you produce mucus the whole length of your digestive tract, so mouth to anus, you produce mucus. Well, if your mucus is really thick, and you produce mucus in your lungs, I mean, you produce mucus in lots of places, you're all pretty snotty. Ha! That's okay. I haven't called you salty water bags yet, but I will. That mucus can trap a parasite. If your mucus is sufficiently thick, a weak parasite can't get through it, and it gets swept up in the mucus, and it gets either coughed out or pooped out. So that's just a response to challenges that people have had, that organisms have had over the span of history. Parasites made you who you are. Now, back to that idea that kids who grow up in agricultural environments have lower rates of allergies and asthma than kids who grow up in non-farm environments. How many of you are diagnosed with asthma? And you don't have to acknowledge it, but I don't think anybody's embarrassed about having asthma. It's no fun, for sure. There's nothing like an elephant sitting on your chest having an asthma attack. I have asthma. Asthma is an inappropriate immune response. So are allergies. So if you have allergies, basically your immune system looks at something that's really harmless, like dust, mold, mildew, cat hair, and your immune system goes, "Wah!" and freaks out and has this response that would be appropriate if it were some big crazy virus. You awake now, Zach? Good, good, good. I should actually use you as one of my models for this. Come on up here, sir. Grab yourself a stool. Yeah, sure, right there. Who else? Who wants to be one of my other castle guards? Okay, Jacob, come on up. So, you guys, actually, I want you standing in between those two lab tables, and I want you standing at guard. Well, you'll just need to be near a stool. Okay. So, these two fine young gentlemen are our castle guards. They are the immune system. Now, let's think about 50,000 years of human history. 50,000 years ago. Do you think humans encountered a lot of germs? Yeah. Oh my God, yes. There was no water. There was no, people were, probably pooping out behind the cave someplace. All of your food was covered in God knows what. Home butchering with rocks. Mm-hmm. How likely do you think it is that you got fecal material on the meat? Pretty likely. People were encountering, really? Seriously? 50,000 years ago? Humans were basically eating poop all the time. Covered in everything you can imagine, walking around, mostly barefoot. Do you know what hookworms are? Anybody ever traveled in the South? Gesundheit. Okay, in the southern U.S., where the ground does not freeze solid every year, there's something called a hookworm. Less common now than it used to be. Hookworms have a fantastically interesting life cycle. They travel through the digestive system. They lay their eggs in the gut, which means those get pooped out. And in soil where there's been human feces, if you walk through it barefoot, you shouldn't walk through poop, kids. Hookworm larvae, well, they have hooks. And they burrow up through the flesh of your foot.
Do they hurt?
I don't know. I've never had one. And I would imagine it couldn't feel great. It's probably itchy, honestly. Just like a lot of, mosquito bites are itchy, and a lot of these parasite things make you kind of itch. They burrow up into your foot. They go into your bloodstream. The little larvae swim through your bloodstream. This is where it gets really interesting. They go from the bloodstream into the lungs. They travel through the lungs, and they irritate the lungs sufficiently that you have coughing fits. You cough so hard that you spit the larva up into your mouth, where it gets swallowed, goes into your stomach, and then lays its eggs, you poop them out, the next person walks through your poop, and it starts all over again. Yeah. So it's a lot of steps. Well, okay, so we have been, for 50,000 years, dealing with, okay, come on, guys, you're supposed to be on guard. Stand up. Look alive. Come on. There are threats coming at you every second. We got poop, we got hookworms, we got pinworms, we got roundworms, we got bacteria, we got more bacteria, we got all kinds of stuff coming at you every second. Can you ever relax? No. Oh, Zach, you might be the wrong man for the job.
I'll try.
Come on. So, you're constantly on guard. Hey, all of you, stand up. Come on. We're all on guard. Yeah, come on. Every single second. So, for a metaphor, here's what I want you to imagine. You know, have you ever seen on TV or something those tennis ball launch fire tennis balls?
Things hurt.
Okay, imagine one of those, and it's pointed at you, and every single second, something is coming at you.
I put my helmet on.
Yeah, you better, and you better have a shield too.
Nope. I'm gonna
And some
headbutt
other
it.
defensive stuff. That's what your immune system dealt with for 50,000 years. That's what human immune systems dealt with. Something is coming at you every single second. Yeah, you know, it never stops. It never lets up. It's parasites, it's bacteria, it's viruses. You are constantly bombarded.
You look like the Grudge right there.
Who?
The Grudge.
I don't know who that is. Okay, so now the world we live in. I doubt that any of you are using an outhouse. I doubt. Well, now, you know, and it was not uncommon in this part of the county in the 1970s. My grandparents didn't get indoor plumbing until 1969. There are still folks who have outhouses, but it's really uncommon these days. It is less common. Yeah, and the Amish do use outhouses.
They don't have electric either.
Nope, they don't. But for the most of us are using, probably not.
Oh.
Most of us are probably using indoor plumbing. Most of us probably have a clean source of water. If you have a well drilled in this county, the county health department comes out and they test it to make sure it doesn't have high bacterial levels. And if it does have high bacterial levels, you're not allowed to drink from it. They'll close it. They'll condemn your well. Most of us are not hauling water from rivers that might have God knows what in them in terms of goose, fish, cow, anything else poop. Most of us are not butchering our own meat with stone knives. Most of us have access. You're probably not butchering with stone knives. I mean, I butcher some of my own meat, but I don't use stone knives. I use nice sharp metal blades. Do fish pee?
Yeah.
Yes. Copious amounts of urine. We'll talk about copious pee later.
Wait, so they swallow their own pee pretty much?
So do you if you swim in a lake.
I got lunch in like 5 minutes.
You're going to end up with some pee.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious. Do I joke about these things?
Sometimes.
Have we met? Yes, you're swallowing fish pee. You're swimming in lakes, you're swallowing fish pee. Okay, but many people these days don't even like to swim in. Oh, I don't like to swim in lakes. I like pools. They've got chlorine. Much nicer. No.
Gross.
Yeah, me too. I would much rather swim in a lake. But for a lot of people, so, you know, we're eating pretty clean, well-cooked meat. We're drinking nice, clean water. We have indoor plumbing. Some of you may have, like, you know, crazy people in your house who like to Clorox. My mother Cloroxes the entire bathroom once a week. You know, everything has to be disinfected. We put things in the dishwasher. We put them on the Sani-Cycle. We use antibacterial soap and hand sanitizer. Some of you people use this thing like it's candy. You use it like it's hand lotion. It's not. So you know what? Exactly. Zach's got the right idea. I don't really see any threats here. I think I can sit back and relax. Go ahead, sit down. Nothing dangerous is going on. It's fine. Your immune system, it's, you know, there's really nothing happening. The castle guards, they're sitting on the top of the wall of the castle. There's not that much going on. It's fine. It's okay.
No, it's not.
Which means after 50,000 years of being on high alert, the fact that you're now like, yeah, nothing's happened in like, I don't know, months, means that when a leaf blows across the top of the castle, you go, wow! And your immune system has an inappropriate response. Okay? This is the night watch guard who nothing has happened in years. You're sitting there guarding something. You guys can go back to your seats. You're sitting there guarding something, and while things used to happen every single night, nothing has happened in years. So when something tiny and stupid and insignificant happens, you have this big response. That's an inappropriate immune response. That is allergies. So there is a school of thought when we go to see lunch, or when we come back from lunch. I want you to take your stuff with you because we are going to go straight down to the lab for C.
We're not gonna come back.
We're not coming back here. We're going to go straight to the lab.
Wait, we come
Either
back
take
in.
it with you or don't leave it in here, is what I'm saying. Do not leave your stuff in here. We're going to go to the lab. Hold on. And you are going to keep working on that parasites and predator-prey relationships for your species. The goal is to have 5 of each. For some of you, like if you've got a top predator, you're probably not going to have that many on the things that prey on your species side, but you should have a lot more on the prey side. If you're a bunny rabbit, you probably won't have that many on the things it preys on side, but you'll have a lot more on the things that prey on its side.
Wait, can you do like
For parasites, and you have to, and I didn't do a good job of this, you have to show documentary evidence. I want to see where you got your information. I don't want you just sitting there going, yeah, okay, mountain lions eat deer. Show me a discussion of that, and show me the details. How do they prey on deer? In what parts of their range do they prey on deer? Do they prey on adult deer? Do they ambush deer? Do they only prey on baby deer? Barn owls, they eat mice. Do they have certain preferences? Because barn owls are night active. They probably don't eat a lot of squirrels because squirrels are day active. You know, so I want details. I want more than just a list. We will then start to flesh that out in terms of what responses your species has, what adaptations it has to prevent being preyed on by those things, to prevent being parasitized by those things. We'll keep fleshing this out. Questions, comments, concerns?
Bring these